Regarding to how do you advocate for others, right? I think there's a lot of difference here. There's a lot of difference between your intention and how you view stuff, what you stand for, but how do you advocate for others that might not be similar to you, that might not have the same preferences that you have? Are you put in that situation where you need to do that? Do you ever even think about it? So the reason I'm asking it is because for the longest time in America, I just spit everywhere. For the longest time in America, I just keep it real. Sorry, you're good. For the longest time in America, minority groups, they had kind of their own framework of operation because depending on what they open their mouth on, determine what kind of access they're going to have. And as the country continued to progress over time, more opportunity and more freedom and more empowerment occurred that allowed them to continue to rise up. But that still happens today. And when I say minority majority, I really mean when you're a majority, that means the preference of what your environment is, it reflects you. Most of the time, you don't even have to think about it. You don't have to wake up in the morning and say, oh, look at how this is to my liking or to my preferences. It's not a bad thing. It just means the society that you live in reflects you. But for those who are in a minority, half of the time, they have to conform to the majority ways in order for them to get a chance. And sometimes they have to really suppress who they are in order to get an opportunity to even advance forward. Because this is what the differences are. But the problem is, as we continue to become more and more progressive, those minorities are beginning to have a louder voice to advocate for their own preferences. If you look at some of the milestones that's happened in the last 30 years in the social system, there's been some serious progress that's happened. But it didn't happen because the majority group said one day, oh wow, I think they should. It's because those individuals have been advocating for it for so long that eventually it built some momentum, and the momentum was big enough that it actually challenged the system, and eventually it forced the system to convert back. But that only happens over time, right? It just happens over time. So in order for you to understand or even have a mindset that allows you to neutralize yourself so you can look at a situation from how it's presented, you have to take yourself out of the equation. Because you can't analyze a situation based on your standpoint of view on it if the other person on the other side is nothing like you. Because then all you're going to be doing is just putting walls up in order for you to defend your preference. And that's what we see all the time. Do we want to defend our preferences? Or do we want to really find a common ground? But the only way you can find a common ground is building relationships with those other groups that don't represent your preferences. It's by talking. It's by understanding the root of what they're advocating